we will focus on how the invoke method affects the user experience and data handling. When invoking an integration procedure, you have three primary invoke method options. Hey everyone, welcome. Today we will be exploring the invoke method options for an integration procedure in an OmniStudio. Whether you need immediate results, want to keep the UI responsive, or don't need any user feedback, these options will shape your user experience. We will also cover how the response data gets merged into the Omni JSON based on the invocation method that you use. Now, what is an integration procedure? An integration procedure in an OmniStudio is used to orchestrate backend actions. It could involve calling data raptors, Apex classes, or even external services. We use Omni scripts to invoke these procedures, and today we will focus on how the invoke method affects the user experience and data handling. Now, let's take a look at the available invoke method options for an integration procedure. When invoking an integration procedure from an Omni script, you have three primary invoke method options: default, non-blocking, and fire and forget. Let's dive into each one and see how they impact user experience and data merging. First, it is the default or synchronous invocation. It means the Omni script waits for the integration procedure to complete before proceeding to the next action or step. The UI is blocked until the backend task finishes, and once the task is complete, the response is merged into the Omni JSON data. This means the OmniScript can immediately use the result of the procedure in the next step. Here, I have an OmniScript, and in my OmniScript, I have added an integration procedure. There is nothing complex in the integration procedure. I'm just calling a data raptor post action, which is actually this one. It updates a field in the contact object available. These are the mappings. Like I said, there is nothing fancy in here, and the data is passed from the OmniScript from this inboxer. The data is passed from these input boxes from the OmniScript. So let's take a look at the default invoke mode. Let's go ahead and preview this. Just keep an eye on the UI, the loading, and the response. So when I click on the next, please observe that there will be a loading spinner, and the UI will wait for the response to come back. And if you look at the integration procedure, I have added a response action in which I'm just passing a sample response. So if you go back and click on next, there is a loading spinner that came, and then the UI was only available to us after the loading was done, and then we got our JSON data also merged with the response. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the next method available, which is the non-blocking or asynchronous invocation. With non-blocking, the OmniScript doesn't wait for the task to complete. The user can continue interacting with the UI while the integration procedure runs in the background. Once the backend operation finishes, the response is still merged into the Omni JSON. However, the key difference is that the UI doesn't wait for the result to proceed. For this, I have changed the invoke node to non-blocking, and if you go and preview this, type in some value, and here when I click on next button, there will not be any spinner shown. Instead, the UI will be moved to the next step. You can see there was no spinner and the next screen was immediately available, but that if you paid attention, you could see that when the response was available, it was merged into the Omni JSON and was shown into the UI. So here it will keep the UI responsive, improving the user experience. Now let's take the last invocation method which is available to us, which is the fire and forget or the background invocation. Fire and forget is the most asynchronous method. With this option, the OmniScript doesn't wait for the backend task to complete, and the response is not merged into the Omni JSON. Essentially, the operation runs in the background without blocking the UI, and there is no expectation of a response that the user will see. To demonstrate this will be similar to what we saw before. To demonstrate this, I have changed the invocation method to fire and forget in this scenario, and I'm going to populate the data. Now keep an eye on the data JSON available to us. When I click on next, you will not see the data coming from the integration procedures, which means the sample response or sample success will not be coming back to the OmniScript. So let's go and click next. You can see that the set values are executed and the completed task was shown, but the data was never returned to the OmniScript. So let's go again through what we discussed here. One of the key difference between these invoke methods is how the response is merged into the Omni JSON. Let's break it down for each method. For a default or synchronous method, OmniScript waits for the integration procedure to finish. Then the response data is immediately merged into the Omni JSON when the task completes. So for example, after creating or updating a record, the record ID or status is instantly available for the next step of the OmniScript. But for a non-blocking or asynchronous invocation method, OmniScript will move ahead while the IP runs. Once the task is complete in the background, the response data is merged into the Omni JSON, where the user won't see it immediately. automatically. For example, after submitting the form, the operation continues in the background and the response, such as the record ID, is available for later use in the later steps. And when talking about fire and forget, OmniScript doesn't wait. The backend operation runs, but there is no response data merged into Omni JSON because no feedback is expected or needed. An example for this scenario would be logging user activity or sending an email. No result is needed to continue the OmniScript flow. So when should we choose each method? You should use synchronous when immediate feedback is needed or the next step depends on the response, like data validation, quick record creation, or updates. In the case of non-blocking, you should use it when the task will take longer and the UI should not be blocked. The user can continue interacting with the app while the task completes in the background. An example for this would be, like I said, sending emails, long data processing, batch updates, etc. Now, finally, fire and forget. You should use fire and forget when the task runs in the background and doesn't require user feedback. Something like logging actions, sending notification emails, or performing non-interactive updates. So, to summarize, the choice between synchronous, non-blocking, and fire and forget invokes depends on the task and the user experience you want to create. Make the right choice based on the task urgency and whether the user needs to be aware of the backend operations. Okay everyone, that's all for this video. If you have any questions, please write it down in the comments. We will be happy to reply. See you in the next video.